Hey, Charlie. We need to talk. Do you still live with mom and dad?
Oh, Putt. Why are you asking me that? Yeah, I do still live with them.
What? You really do still live with them? Unbelievable. How much longer are you planning to live there? You're pretty much 30 years old already. We're not children anymore. I can't believe you're still so dependent on mom and dad. Are you not embarrassed at all?
Dependent on mom and dad? I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. What makes you think that? I think I am very independent already.
Why don't you understand what I'm telling you? I also want you to answer my question. I'm asking you how much longer you're planning on living with our parents. You really need to move out and stop causing them trouble. You're unemployed and you barely even leave the house you grow up.
Wait, Putt. I think that there have been lots of misunderstandings. I'm not unemployed at all. I work remotely from home. I don't leave the house that often, but that's because I'm working most of the time.
What do you think you're saying? I know that's a lie for sure. I'm not going to believe you. You're not the kind of person that's able to work from home.
What does that even mean? I really don't understand why you're even texting me right now. Hurry up and just get to the point. Why are you even complaining about me still living with mom and dad? I thought that you were planning to move back in with us.
Yeah. I'm going to be moving back in from next month. I really don't like the fact that I've got to start living with you again.
Then you're going to be in the same situation as me. I don't get why you're mocking me for living with mom and dad. There's also a good reason why I'm still here.
Stop putting me in the same category as you. Our situations are completely different. My new workplace is kind of close to our parents' house. And that's why I'm planning to move in temporarily. I don't plan on living there forever like you. Can't believe that I'm going to have to live with an old man like you.
You're calling me an old man? We're only 2 years apart.
That doesn't really matter right now. I just don't like the fact that you're 30 years old and still unemployed. Are you not embarrassed that you're still so dependent on mom and dad?
I don't know why you think I'm unemployed. I work a full-time job and earn a decent salary. Why can't you just accept the fact that I work remotely from home? It's a normal thing to do these days. I am not dependent on our parents at all. I hope that you can be more understanding of my situation. We're going to be living together again after all. I was hoping that we could get along.
Why should I try to get along with you? You're pretty much a parasite to this family. All you are is a nuisance. There's literally no reason for me to get along with you.
You don't need to worry about any of that. I am not a nuisance at all. If you have no intention of getting along with me, then please just leave me alone. At least we have our own rooms. We can mind our own business.
Actually, you're a nuisance just by living in the same house. Your being in the house has a negative effect on everyone else. I'm going to be going out the house every day to work while you're being lazy at home. That's not fair at all.
I'm sorry, but I'm starting to lose my patience now. I told you that I'm working from home. I am not being lazy at all. You really should stop caring so much about what I do. Just focus on your own life and career.
Oh, Charlie. I don't need someone like you to be giving me advice. Charlie. Are you at home right now?
Yeah, I'm. What's wrong? Do you need me for something?
You want to go on a road trip today?
What's the matter with you all of a sudden? I thought you hated me. You kept on ignoring all my messages till today.
There's no reason really. I just felt like asking you. We're siblings after all. I thought that we should spend some time together once in a while.
I'm really surprised to be receiving a message like this from you. It's really rare for you to ask me to come out with you.
So let's go on a short road trip.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I kind of felt like driving actually. I'll be done with working around an hour. I'll be free after that.
Did you really just say work? There's no need for you to pretend like that. I know that you're still unemployed.
So you still think that? I'm really not the pathetic kind of person that you think. I land a job with decent salary. I'm also financially supporting our parents now. I think they're very happy that I still live with them.
What are you talking about? That's all lies. If you were really working a decent job, you wouldn't still be living with. You don't even leave the house at all.
There's actually a reason why I'm living like how I am. I can't really tell you the reason, but I hope that you can understand and respect my situation.
Whatever, Charlie. Stop with the fake stories now. I'll come and pick you up in an hour. Make sure that you're ready by that time.
Fine, I guess I'll start getting ready. Where are you even planning on going?
Do you remember that mountain we used to go hiking?
Of course, how can I forget? I thought that mountain trail got closed off though.
But there are some other trails that we can go to. I heard it's a little dangerous, but I think we should give it a go.
Isn't that place a little far away though? It's near where we used to live when we were back in high school.
Don't worry. It's not that far away. I don't think it's going to take 2 hours to drive there.
Why do you even want to go hiking there all of a sudden? Did you suddenly want to feel like a child again or something?
Yeah, I wanted to go somewhere nostalgic. It might be a little cold, so make sure that you bring a coat.
Are we planning to be walking around for a while? This really is so sudden. I'm still kind of surprised.
I just thought it would be nice to have some time to ourselves. It's going to be a nice opportunity for us to start getting along well again.
I'm still a little confused, but it's starting to seem kind of fun. I sort of wanted some time to be able to talk to you after all. This is going to be a good opportunity for that. I'll be waiting for you to arrive.
Okay.
Answer my call now, Putt. Are you insane?
What? Why are you able to call me? I have your phone. There's no way you should be able to do this.
I have a second phone that I carry around with me.
Anyway, there's no point in you calling me. I don't have any intention of picking up.
Are you serious? Is this a prank or something?
I can't believe that you have a second phone. Well, I can't text you anymore. I'm driving right now.
What? You piece of trash. Where the heck are you? I can't believe that you ditched me in the middle of this mountain.
Yeah, I just got to the bottom of the mountain with my car. And I'm just about to get back onto the main road now.
What? Why you did that to me? This place is kind of scary. Are you out of your mind?
Well, I have to do that to kick you out of the house. I'm sorry, but I have no choice. You have no place in this house anymore now. Go and find a job and place to live by yourself. You really needs to start being more independent.
I can't believe you're doing this to me. What is wrong with you, Putt? I guess this was your intention in the first place. I should have known your plan was to abandon me. You're such a psycho.
Yeah, that was my plan from the very start.
It was stupid of me to trust you in the first place. I should have known that something was wrong.
It's too late to realize now, Charlie. There's no need for you to come back home anymore. You understand how I feel about you now, right? Don't ever show your face in front of me again. You're a huge nuisance to our entire family.
I totally understand how you feel about me now. I'm going to come home to collect my belongings then. Don't bother going into my room, by the way. I'll move out as soon as I collect everything.
Actually, I'll dispose of all your belongings for you.
There's no need to do that. One of my friends is heading over to collect all of my belongings for me. There are some important documents that I need for work in my room. I can't have you disposing of important documents.
I can't believe you're still pretending that you have a job. How much longer are you planning to use that lie? I guess I don't really care either way as long as you move out. Just make sure that you never come back home. You need to realize that you're a nuisance to me and our parents. You're such a useless piece of trash.
You don't need to worry about me at all. I'm pretty sure that I'm never going to be seeing you ever again. I actually cared for you because you're my little brother. None of that matters anymore.
Charlie. Charlie.
I'm sorry, but who's that?
Stop messing around. It's kind of an emergency. There's no way you've forgotten who I am. Your brother. Put.
What do you want from me? I thought that we weren't going to see or talk to each other ever again.
That doesn't matter anymore. I wasn't serious about that at all. I'm in some serious trouble right now. I need your help.
So you're asking for help after you abandoned me in the middle of a mountain? What do you want from me?
Who cares about that? You were fine, right? You managed to get out of the mountain alive.
That doesn't make it fine at all. It was dark and I had no signal on my phone. It could have ended really badly.
So what? Do you want me to apologize or something? I'm sorry for what I did to you.
I don't need your apology.
Well, okay. I don't have all day, you know. I'm in a lot of trouble thanks to you. It's your fault and you need to take responsibility.
What are you talking about? I never did anything to get you into trouble.
Is it really true that you were the one making the loan payments for this house?
You're asking me that now?
I had no idea about it. I thought that you were unemployed all this time. How did you earn the money to pay the loan for the bank? It's not cheap at all.
You're asking me that now? Don't you have any memory? You really need to start listening a little more.
How dare you say that to me? I'm much smarter than you. None of that matters right now. Mom and Dad are telling me to pay the loan fees and the utility bills for the house. They're saying that I am responsible because I was the one that kicked you out. It doesn't make any sense.
Put, it makes total sense. I was paying for everything related to that house right up until you kicked me out. Did you not hear that I had started up my own company?
What? You have your own company?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of company in the town. I've always told you that I work remotely from home. It's been several years since I started up my company and it's been really successful so far. I probably earn around 10 times more than what an average person earns.
What? Are you being serious? But if you have that much money, why don't you pay off the loan for the house?
Well, I can pay off that loan anytime I want. But I prefer to invest my money to the company. Then I can gain the profit from my business. And of course, the profit I get is much more than the monthly loan. I'm serious. There's no point in me lying about something like this.
I can't believe that you're a CEO of a company. Why didn't you tell me about this up till now? I also don't understand why you're still living with our parents. It doesn't make any sense. Surely. You can live wherever you want then if you earn that much money. You should be living in your own house already.
I had no other choice because Mom and Dad are on a huge amount of debt.
What? What did you just say?
I'm only living with them so that I can help them pay back all the money that they owe. I've been paying for all their living expenses as well. Dad is currently using his entire salary to pay off the debt. That's the reason I was living with them up until recently.
What? I thought that Dad had a pretty good salary. There's just no way they could be in debt.
You really do live in your own world, Put. You don't know anything our parents. Parents made a pretty big mistake, their business. And that's why they're in debt right now. There's a pretty big difference in the amount of money that me and you earn. I think that it's going to be financially difficult for you to live in that house right now.
I didn't know anything about this at all. It's not fair. Why didn't you warn me about this before I decide to move in?
I was waiting for an opportunity to talk to you about it. But you never seemed to answer any of my text messages. I thought I could talk to you about it when you asked me to go on that short road trip. I did not expect to get abandoned like that at all.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I actually had no bad intentions at all. It was all just a misunderstanding.
You stole my phone and left me alone in the mountain. I'm pretty sure that's got to be a crime. What do you think would have happened if I didn't have my second phone with me? I don't really see you as my brother anymore. You're a complete stranger to me.
Don't be like that. We're siblings. I also have no idea how I'm going to pay for any of this. I thought that I wouldn't have to pay for any of my living expenses if I lived with Mom and Dad.
You need to solve this problem by yourself. I'm done with you. After that, Put had to pay all the living expenses and loans for parents. He also begged me to move back in with them, however I had already blocked his number. Then, Put ended up having to borrow a large amount of money. He really should have thought about it more carefully before kicking me out of the house. I have nothing to do with him anymore. He needs to learn a lesson of respect.
What's all this, sis? I don't get anything happening here.
What's wrong, Ellie? Lower your voice when talking to your sister. Don't be rude, okay?
Well, sorry for that, but what am I supposed to do with all the stuff you sent me? If you're trying to get rid of all your old makeup and clothes, could you not send it to me? I'm not a garbage truck, you know. And if you're going to send stuff to my place, could you at least give me a call beforehand? Today was my day off, otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to accept it from the delivery man.
What? Did you open it? You weren't supposed to do that. That's my stuff. They were all addressed to me. Don't touch anything from now on.
I'm sorry, I admit I got a little curious. But it's still your fault for sending all these things to my place. I mean, why did you do that? I'm guessing you're the one who packed all this. Why do you need to send me your underwear? I'm pretty sure most people don't send their personal belongings somewhere their sibling is living. Care to explain? The addresses were printed out, so maybe you accidentally used the wrong address? If you were trying to send it somewhere else, I could do that for you if you tell me the actual address. Although I'm still going to charge you for it.
Wait, Ellie. I think you're getting ahead of yourself. I didn't use the wrong address. Everything is going perfectly as planned. I'm going to live at your place starting tomorrow. And I need you out of there as soon as possible.
Excuse me? Are you being serious? I think you're out of your mind. You can't just kick someone out of their own house. Don't you know?
It's not fair that you get to live in a luxury apartment. I want to live somewhere like that too. I deserve to live somewhere luxurious with a great view just as anyone else. Starting tomorrow, that place is going to be mine. So I want you out.
What? Do you think I'm going to be okay with that? You're not making any sense. I hope you understand that. That house belongs to me and my boyfriend. You can't just expect to move in like that without any permission. That's not how life works. I know you weren't exactly the smarter sister. But I'm starting to get worried about how dumb you could be at times. Is everything okay anyways? I'll just send you back all of your stuff. I hope you understand.
Ellie, everything is more than okay. It's great you might think I'm stupid. But this time you're the one who's being the dummy. It's different now. Because I have permission to move in.
What? Who gives you?
Tom.
What?
Why wouldn't he? We are a couple after all?
A couple? What's that supposed to mean?
A couple means a couple. We go out. We kiss. We cuddle. And we're dating. And so, Tom is my boyfriend. Not yours. That's why I'm going to live in that apartment.
What? Tom and I are engaged. You know that, right?
Oh, you're so stupid, sis. Do you still not understand? You and Tom are over. You guys aren't a thing anymore. Tom was tired of you a long time ago, and it's finally time that you broke up. A long time ago. We've been dating for more than a year now. I'm glad you never noticed though. But now you know it all. Every time Tom told you that he was working overtime, he actually secretly going on a date with me. Well, most of the time, but it was still a lot. Are you surprised? I bet you are. Tom is mine now, Ellie. We're madly in love. There's nothing you can do about it.
I knew you were an airhead, but this is going too far. You know that's cheating, right?
No, I don't think so. It's not cheating if it's true love. You're the one that's forcing him to cheat on me. It's time you ended your relationship with Tom. Say goodbye to him and leave the rest to me. Go away. I'll make sure to make him happy as a wonderful couple. A parasite like you shouldn't be living with Tom. Just get out of there.
A parasite? I wonder who you're talking about.
Obviously you. I thought you were the smart one. You're making Tom pay for all the rent. You don't help him pay the bills, and you even make him pay for all the food. And it's not like you don't work. You're just being stingy and hogging all your money for yourself. You still make Tom pay for everything. It's not fair. What do you even need all that money for? Are you trying to buy another house? How greedy you are. Someone like you deserves to be called a parasite.
Wow. Interesting. So let me get this straight to the point. You're saying that I'm making Tom pay for all the rent? And all the food too? I'm assuming Tom told you that, right?
Yeah, he told me everything. He told me how you're always so bossy and that you demand so much from him. He said he'll be willing to listen to you just a bit more if you were a bit more sweet. But since you always act so blunt and cold, he figured that'll be way too much to expect from you. I think he's actually like super tired of you. He said how he hated the way you never show any gratification even after he pays for everything. He feels like he's not being appreciated. He also doesn't like your cooking apparently. It's always undercooked and tasteless. When it comes to housework. God, can't believe that. He has to do all the cleaning. Don't you know that a man should focus on career path? How could you do nothing and let him take care all of that? When I move in, I'll do all the housework for him. Anyways, he basically wants to live with someone sweet who's willing to be a loving wife. I'm perfect for him.
What? Are you insane?
I'm being serious. Tom said he loved me so much. He loves the way I'm so sweet and cute to him. I believe he'll proud of having a wife like me. You're too stupid to be his wife. Ellie. Ellie. Where are you? I'm talking to you right now.
I'm here, Gina. Calm down, I'm still see your chat. Thank you for the compliment to Tom. I think I heard everything I needed to. I'll have a chat with Tom just to sort out the details. If what you said is true, I suppose our engagement will be over.
Yeah, you should definitely go talking things over with him. I would really love it if I could start living in that house. Ellie. Hey. Pick up the phone now. We need to talk.
What's wrong, Gina? I thought we don't anything to talk. Your plan was successful. You know, got the house and my boyfriend. Are you still unhappy about it?
Stop it, Ellie. I'm definitely happy now. Everyone knows that.
So what you do text me for?
Because it's urgent.
I don't think there's anything urgent. Okay, so tell me. What's that?
I just got a letter from the building management. It says that we didn't pay for our rent and that we have 2 weeks to pay. Otherwise, we'd be kicked out. What is going on? I don't understand. I need help.
Okay.
Why isn't our rent paid? Shouldn't it automatically be withdrawn from Tom's bank account? Tom went back to his parents' house yesterday and I can't get in touch with him. You need to explain this to me.
Sure, I'll do that. So you might not know, but Tom and I used to share the account. I withdrew my share from it when I left him. I'm guessing you two ran out of money. And that's why that notice came. Was this answer helpful? And I think you should try again to contact you wonderful man. As always, he'll ran away if there's a problem. How ridiculous!
Stop it, Ellie. Stop looking down on my man. I can't get anything from what you're saying. I can't imagine you're salty. You just can't steal money from your ex. Give it back. I could call the police.
You're very funny, Gina. I didn't steal a single cent from Tom. I only took out what I put in.
What? You must be lying.
No, I'm dead serious. I just got what belongs to me. Don't you think it is fair? After considering how much of what I put in was used to pay the bills, I made some calculations and only took out what was left. I knew this issue would pop up sooner or later. So I even kept a note. I can show you how I made my calculations if you want. But I'm sure all you'll find is that I was actually being pretty generous with you too.
Wait, Ellie. Hold on a second. You have said what? You paid for the bills too?
Yeah, you want to hear about that?
Well, forget it. That's not important right now. Maybe later. Anyways, I am not a big fan of number. So I'll take your word for it. But if you only took what was yours, why isn't our rent paid? I mean, Tom should be paying for it even after you left. It's his house too.
Yeah, you should probably tell him. It costs more than $1,000 to live in this house.
What? How could that be?
You're living in the city center, Gina. This amount is not too much in that location. But I bet that's all he deposits in the bank account per month, right? I mean, that's how much he used to deposit back when we were living together. I hate to burst the bubble. But there's no way you can live in a luxury apartment by only paying that much per month. Just because he used to pay $1,000 every month doesn't mean that's enough. Especially if his new girlfriend isn't helping with the rent.
Isn't that common sense?
It looks like we finally agree on something.
He doesn't actually think $1,000 is enough, right?
I'm sorry to tell you, sis. But if you got that little notice, chances are that he still thinks it is. The world is a large place and sometimes the people that live there can surprise you. If my mind serves me right, his monthly wage is around $4,000. I don't think someone like that should be living in a duplex. I told him so back when we were looking for a place to live together, but he just wouldn't listen. He said that it was his dream to live in a duplex. And that if we were going to live together, it was better to find a place where we could settle down for good instead of going through the trouble of moving over and over again. So apartment it was. Although I really tried my best to stop him.
HI's monthly wage is $4,000? How are you supposed to live in an apartment with that salary? I mean, I guess you can live in it. But that's it. You can't pay for anything else.
I know, Gina. I told him. I warned him that if he wanted to live in a duplex he would have to either get several promotions. Or at least, she should find a better job. Of course, I was going to pay half the rent, but I was still worried about his savings. But then he got all upset about how I hurt his feelings or something. So he ran all the way home to his parents' house and had them give me a lecture about what it means to be a good wife. Pretty funny, considering how I wasn't even his wife back then. Anyways, I didn't want to make a scene, so I decided it was easier if I just covered the expenses. In addition, his parents made me swear that I don't talk about his salary anymore. In retrospect, it was a pretty bad move, good thing. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Wait a minute, Ellie. So you were paying for the rent too? Just like the bills?
What? So what do you think I was using all of my money for? My monthly wage is double of what Tom earns. I had to spare some cash to make my ex-partner's wishes come true.
What? Really? Tom told me about how you were making him pay for everything.
It was obviously a lie. He exaggerated things a bit, but it was definitely a lie to impress you. All he paid was $1,300 a month. And I paid for the rest, including the cost for food and necessities. You know that he expects the woman in the house to do all the cooking and cleaning. Maybe that's fine if you're a housewife. But I was working just as much as he was, so it's not going to work out. So if anyone's a parasite, I'd say it was him. To be honest, I wasn't exactly on good terms with his parents. I really didn't like them, and I had the feeling that they didn't like me as well. I guess in the end everything turned out fine for me. And it's all thanks to you. I imagine things will be tough, but I'm sure you'll be able to handle it. I think we finally found a real parasite.
What? I can't get what's going on? Why all of that happens all of a sudden? I thought I could live a luxury life.
Don't be so fooled, Gina. You can't just be lazy and live such a wonderful life. Wake up, Gina.
But what am I supposed to do now?
I don't know. And I don't care. You are the one to steal my boyfriend and my house in the first place. It's the time you enjoy your success, right? I don't want to see your face anymore.
Wait, Ellie. Ellie.
After that, Gina decided to chase Tom down. She traveled all the way to his parents' house and had a massive fight with them. But it's common sense that his parents would stand on Tom's side. Eventually, no one wanted to pay the rent. The managing board of the building decided to sue Tom and Gina. There's a bad news that if they don't pay, they can't be sentenced to prison. It's fun to see how they manage that.
In today's meeting, the teacher praised many of your classmates for their achievements and progressions recently. Just as I guessed, you were in her blacklist again. She complained so much about you and other 3 students for always be late for school, not completing homework. OMG, how embarrassed am I to have mischievous child like you.
Wait, you call me mischievous for not having good attitude at school?
Am I wrong, Emma? Just look at your older sister, Linda. I am very prideful whenever her teacher pay her so much compliments on her determination and progression. But you, what a shame.
Every time you get back from that school, you are always saying bad words to me. Forget about Linda. Have you ever recognized me for anything I did? Even once. Never.
You want me to praise you, but have you done anything that's meritorious? Since you were little, I have come to your class many times to receive thousands of complaints about your misbehaviors. So should I praise you for those things, huh?
You think I really want to be the irritating child? Have you ever given me gentle admonition like you did to Linda? Whenever we made mistakes, the first thing you did was yelling at me but not at her. And you gave her very considerate reminders?
Because Linda has a heart disease, she can't stand hearing harsh words.
That means I can?
When you were born, you was much stronger and healthier than Linda, so I have to be stricter with you, or else you will get out of my control.
Please don't use those words to ignore your excesses.
I'm just telling the truth. You're really stubborn, you know. I am also really tired of grumbling at you all the time. Please be mature as your sister and don't make me tired of you anymore.
But I am your daughter, too. Why do I have to be unequally treated? Have you ever thought about how I feel?
OMG, you're so annoying. Why should I care about how you feel? You think you are entitled to preferential treatment even though you are useless and mischievous?
I'm really surprised you can say these words to your own flesh and blood.
Oh, actually, I don't think of you as my daughter anyway. You're just a pathetic waste of space. And you, Sister Linda? She is the only one that can make me proud and reliable. How I wish she was an only child.
I'm getting hurtful, you know.
That how you choose to push me in this way?
Which way? This is the first time I've chosen to frankly talking to you after cowardly standing your insults all the time. Because Linda is unhealthy, so I handle all household chores for her. I am always willing to help you with other work in place of her. But you've always looked down on me and grumbled at me no matter what I did while only showing affection to my big sister. Is it because she knows how to satisfy and flatter you?
How could you blame me? Your sister is really smart and hardworking. And thanks to all of her determination, she is received by the medical school. And soon, she will manage to get a job as a doctor in a hospital. Not to mention, she's also tall, slim, and beautiful. She is my biggest pride. Now, look at yourself. You couldn't win against her in even one category.
I don't think you should be comparing us again each other like that, Mom. Anyway, don't forget that I still have good marks at all the exams at school and I will also enroll in Fashion University.
It's ridiculous for you to think one day you can be a model, smiley face. Fix your body first. You will never and ever pass, I swear. Don't try to surpass your big sister.
To be honest, it's amazing that she passed the medical school. I couldn't be happier for her. But maybe Linda will have a warped way of looking at world if you continue to raise her like that. I don't know if she can make it as a doctor, honestly. Oh, she's still an intern at the moment, so she hasn't been a doctor yet. So don't count your chickens before they hatch.
How dare you to insult my daughter like that? Why don't you think of yourself? If you do manage to eventually become a model one day, I'm sure the best you'll do with your degree will be working as small worker in some fashion company.
Aren't I your daughter? How cruel you are.
I don't need a waste of space like you around. Get out of this house and don't come back.
You are seriously kicking me out of my house?
That's right, I'm throwing you out. Why don't you go and find somewhere more suitable for you to live? You don't belong to this home anymore.
This place hasn't been a home for a long time.
It's a fine house. There's nothing wrong with it. Only you. You are the leftover of this house.
I really can't imagine one day I have to hear such horrible words from my mother.
And anyway, Linda will be a wealthy doctor. She'll buy us a new house before you know it. So we don't need a useless eyesore like you around taking up space. Your mere presence is also discomforting me.
It seems like your serious, smiley face. On top of treating me like a burden and constantly insulting me, you still want to throw me out of the house, huh?
The longer you stay here, the worse this house will become. You contribute nothing to this house.
That's really over the line. If you're going to be like that, then I don't think I can see you as my mother anymore.
That's fine, I don't think of you as my daughter anyway. From now on, you and I are strangers.
You can never take this back, you know?
It's time for this family to cut ties with you. Nothing else matters. Leave this house right now.
At the end of the day, you still choose to kick me out, smiley face.
So, are we in agreement? You'll leave, then?
I'll leave.
That's all your life will ever be, isn't it? A pitiful little existence, contributing nothing of value to the world. You just bring shame on the family if you stay here. Get out, already!
Let's look forward to what happens in the future. Karma will get back at you, Mom.
What are you going on about now?
Forget it. I'll grant your wish and leave. I'll come to the house and get a few essentials later this week. And then I'll be gone for good.
Don't ever come crawling back here. I sincerely hope I never see you again.
Got it. Goodbye, Mom. 8 years later.
Emma, how are you? Are you doing well these days?
Who is this?
Emma, where are you now? It's been so long since we last saw you. Why don't you come home for a visit? Don't you miss us? We've been missing you terribly.
Sorry, who are you?
Don't joke around. Isn't it obvious? It's your mother, here.
But I don't have mother for a long time. So I don't know who you might be talking about.
Emma, darling, don't be funny like that. Why would you say a thing like that? Well, how about you come home and say hi? We haven't seen you in ages.
Well, I'm really busy right now. And I don't have time to talk to stranger.
I really want to hear how you are doing and what you've been doing for the last 8 years. Did you end up becoming a model as your dream?
So what if I did? What does that matter?
Of course, I'm always care about how you're living.
Since you asked, I did end up becoming a model. But what does that have to do with you?
So you really are a model. I'm so happy for you. I know you could do it. You know, I always believe in you.
So what? You don't need to be that happy. We are strangers now, remember? You declared it 8 years ago.
I really don't remember I said so.
Anyway, don't beat around the bush. What do you want from me? Is it money?
Oh, please, Emma, don't be like that. Come home to us, it's been too long. You belong with us, we're family.
Why would I go back there to see you guys? Aren't you living happily with your pride? Your talented daughter, who is a reputable doctor, can do a lot for your living? Or has she quitted her dreaming career to be at home with you?
Ha? Why do you put it that way? And how do you know about Linda?
I've heard from Dad. I've heard from Dad. Oh, you're still in contact with him? I have no idea. You have no idea about anything, do you? You disowned me and threw me out of the house years ago, and now when running out of money, you want to get in touch again? What a strange coincidence.
Oh, don't misunderstand. It's not like that. But, since you mentioned it, how are you doing financially? Have you been earning a lot since you've become a model?
See? I wasn't wrong. That's the reason why you contacted me. If you want to know clearly about me, try searching my name on Google.
What are you talking about?
May I present, I've become a famous supermodel since you kicked me out. And as your favorite daughter, Linda, she ended up quitting while she was still a trainee doctor. She wasn't used to setting back in life, so she broke down as soon as things started to get tough. And now she lives at home with you and Dad and rarely leaves the houses, right? Half of that is your responsibility, though. I did warn you.
I expected too much from that girl. She turned out to be useless in the end. Now, I can't believe my second daughter can be so successful now. I'm so proud of you. And also, you look so beautiful recently. I hardly even recognize you.
Thanks to you throwing me out of the house, I can truly find myself and realize which place is more suitable for me to develop. And I have learned a lot from the friendly people out there, and since then, I've become a successful supermodel like I've always dreamt.
You see how effective my way was to let you grow up by yourself. It's time for you to come home and live with your family. Your dad has been weaker lately. I guess he doesn't have much time.
Why would I go back there? To help you with your debts?
I'm not sure, what are you talking about?
Dad figured it out recently. You splurged on money relying on my sister's future income as a doctor, didn't you? That's what he told me. But because she's not working anymore, so now you're stuck in debt and you have no way of paying it back. And you even used up all of Dad's savings.
Wait a minute, your dad knows all about the debt, then? OMG.
Yeah, he knows all about it. So, we've been preparing.
Preparing for what?
For him to come to live with me. I've been buying a new apartment for him in the center of the city. Meanwhile, he's been making moving preparations.
Oh, what a good girl. And what about me?
What about you? I have no idea. Let my big sister be in charge of you, then.
You can't say that to me. Emma, I'm your mother. Think about this.
Fancy that. The ugly, useless daughter who is the shame for the family, becoming a famous supermodel. Bet you didn't see that coming, huh?
Sorry if you feel that way, but I never meant to oppress you, dear. Just because my educational approach was maybe quite strict to you, but after all, I wanted to raise you properly and make sure you were disciplined well, unlike your sister.
That kind of excuse isn't going to work on me, frankly speaking. I'm not naive anymore. You can't just talk your way out of this. And besides, you and I are strangers now, and I owe you nothing.
How can you say that to your own mother? Do you have no sympathy for your own family? Make space for me to come and live with you as well.
No, I won't. I'm really busy and I have no time to make space for a stranger to come and live in my home.
How dare you talk to me like that? So you intend to just throw me away, then? How wicked and ungrateful you are.
I'm sorry, who was the one who threw me first? You're the one who broke that bone, not me. And what about Linda? I noticed that you didn't ask me to make space for her. Now you cannot take any advantages from Linda, so you just want to get rid of her? You never think about anyone but yourself.
You can't say these things to your mother. I didn't raise you to behave like this.
Now, you feel what I felt? You never seemed to care about anything you said to me when I was small. You pretty much verbally abused me my whole life.
Why do you always live with the things in the past? Let's leave it behind and live for the future.
Yeah, you're right.
So, now you understand?
Yeah, I understand that you never feel sorry for what cruel things you did to me in the past. Even now, you seem innocent when facing the child you hate most. We can't get back together ever again since that day. By the way, since Dad knows about your debt, now he's planning to divorce you. You should start looking for a job soon.
What? He can't divorce me, the silly and useless man.
You even look down on your husband. Who else can you respect in this world? Well, let's prepare. Once Dad divorces you, you have to plan to repay your own debt. Aren't you going to take care of Linda?
Why do I have to do so?
Who else is there? I mean, it's your fault that she ended up like this. Take responsibility for your actions.
But I'm in my 60s now. How am I supposed to go out and get a job?
Then I guess Linda will have to get one instead. Talk to her about it. And I made up my mind to separate from you 8 years ago.
Why are you behaving like this? We're family.
Please don't ever say a word, family, to me again. It's cringe. I was having a tough time back then, you know? At that time, I couldn't deal with the stress of being abused by you at home and trying to follow my dream of being a model. And there was only Dad who's secretly giving me money to survive. Where were you at that moment? You didn't even care whether I died or not. You don't deserve to call yourself a mother. Because of my past was body shaming by own mother, I decided to help people be confident and be proud of their own body. So I put everything I had into studying, and thanks to that effort, I can reach my dream. So now, it's time for me to have responsibility to my dad. And from now on, I don't want to have any relation with you. Goodbye. Forever, Mom. Emma completed buying the apartment and brought her dad to live with her. Her mom was still stuck with her debt and had to hide from the creditors. She was said to move to the other place on the outskirt to find for a part-time job. Emma's big sister, Linda, was jobless and started to be addicted to alcohol. She and her mother always have quarrels. Once, her mother can't stand living in the life of hardship and humiliation, she decided to commit suicide.
Hey loser, it's been a while. After that occurrence, I'm wondering how you're doing right now. At the very least, it appears to me that you are leading a morally upright life, haha.
Sorry?
Look, unlike 5 years ago when you were homeless, you are now housed. That's development. I even caught you enjoying a cup of coffee the other day in that Starbucks beside the bus stop. Lisa, you need to stop drinking coffee right now and start saving money. You could ask for a glass of tap water in a restaurant if you're really that thirsty. Haha, it's free. Do not overreact just because you no longer reside on the streets. The only thing you still have is an overdrawn bank account. Do you not?
What would you like? You said you wouldn't text me again, didn't you?
I won't take it if you ignore me. All I wanted to do was catch up with you, haha. After 7 years, your one and only best buddy texted you. Why shouldn't you be joyful? Come on, I know you're not as cruel as you seem to be right now.
When you shattered my life, why should I be polite to you? I'll show you what it feels like to be beaten to death if you don't leave me alone.
Are you serious at this moment? Don't you dare tell me that you still have resentment toward me for making an approach to John? Haha. 7 years have passed. In addition, my kid would be in elementary school if I had one. So quit acting like a child and mature.
You don't even qualify as a human being if you're acting like a kid around here.
Pardon? Haha.
For taking my spouse from me, there is no way I can ever forgive you. We had been friends for a very long time. But back then, you ejected me from my own home without even pausing for a second. I'll never forget how it felt to pass the night on that park seat.
Well, John is solely responsible for all of this. After all, it was he who compelled you to sign the divorce documents. You were indeed thrown out by him as well. Funny. Anyway, I still have to smile to myself thinking about how you begged us at our door. What did you tell us? Please come back for our marriage. Don't you see your words have no value at all?
Exactly. Next to John, you made fun of me without showing any mercy. And all these years, you never even offered me an apology.
Sorry? Why should I apologize to an incompetent person who can't keep a husband like you? Yes, I am aware. However, why would I? I'll tell you what John said. You're just a housewife, he said. Therefore, there is no need to apologize to someone who is unable to support himself. He said that you are to blame for his infidelity. He's always found you to be so repulsive. You did not receive any divorce assets due to his tenacity and legal team. See, that's the reason I grabbed this guy.
Do you really feel so good about making other people suffer? You are fully aware that I have no family or relatives on whom I may rely. Every night, I sobbed my way to sleep on the streets in a cardboard box. I was informed that I could no longer pursue a fresh divorce asset split since 7 years had gone when I finally worked up the confidence to do so. As soon as those words reached my ears, my knees gave way, and I fell to the ground sobbing.
Life is unfair, I guess, hee hee. Anyway, I have nothing to do with what constitutes of you.
Excuse me?
All I know is that my hubby and I are going on the most amazing honeymoon ever, hee hee.
I'm hoping you and John can both maintain this mindset. I don't think the two of you can survive this long if I had to be absolutely honest with you.
I went above and above to lure the man, and I'm not foolish enough to end our relationship. Remember that he oversees a department in a global firm. He's my greatest chance, hee hee, to live the life of a wealthy housewife. Why do you even believe I touched him, after all?
So I assume you still don't understand what you did. I mean, how dare you text me if you have absolutely no intention of apologizing? You should be relieved that at this point, I couldn't care less about the two of you. I genuinely simply want to wish you well with John.
Hi, Lisa. Hello after a while. You appear to have finally ceased getting government assistance, according to what Naomi told me.
But seriously, what do you all need from me? I don't want to interact with you or Naomi in any way.
However, we are well acquainted. Do we not? I reached out to you because I'm concerned.
Me?
You aren't a hobo any longer, according to Naomi. Congrats. Anyway, have you found a new boyfriend for yourself yet? Are you wed or dating someone?
I'm not. Why do you ask so? Thanks to Naomi and you, marriage has now scarred me. I'm going to love being by myself from now on.
That is very sad, hee. Given that you are now divorced and destitute, your life will only grow worse and worse. With that stated, I'll help you out. I know a lot of really good guys.
I do not require your assistance.
You know, I've always felt a little bad for what you had to endure. You've been a stay-at-home wife ever since our wedding. So how will you get by in the coming days without a guy at your side? In other words, feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I'm not as rude as you would assume, hee.
Sorry? What are you mentioning to me?
What do you think of me setting you up on a blind date with one of my friends? Actually, he is also my boss. He's currently 50 years old, yet he's still unmarried, hee. You might get married to him to begin a new era in your life. In spite of the fact that he is almost 20 years older than you, the good news is that he is open to having a divorced lady as his wife.
I thought you'd hook me up with a guy who gave me a 10 out of 10. I never would have guessed that it was an elderly grandfather from work. But seriously, quit making fun of me. I'm not a toy for you and Naomi.
Even if my employer may not be the smartest person around, he is still my superior. He is the highest paid person as a result. He may also grant you all the freedom and comforts you desire. Are you certain you want to pass up this ideal chance to go from poverty to riches? You have my word that now is not the time to be fussy. Right now, you can't even put food on the table. Am I correct?
Making a fool out of someone like this is not acceptable. I did nothing wrong, nor did your supervisor. Being single is just great with us. The course we took had no drawbacks. I beg of you, please remove all of my contacts. Up till now, I've got enough of your poison. In addition, I will date or get married whenever I want to.
Hello, Lisa. Right now, look out your window at the sky. It's very beautiful, really. What a fantastic day for outdoor pleasure. Am I correct? Anyway, how are things going? Are you free today or tomorrow? Please let me know your availability so I may call you to arrange a girls' night out. Do you actually want to hang out right this second? I'm bored. We may simply return quickly before John finishes his task. But he often returns home between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening.
Sorry? Why are you embarrassed to ask me out? You may live your life to the fullest without me. I have no issue with that.
You already know that one of the perks of being a housewife is having too much spare time every day. As a result, you learn to appreciate the simple things in life that you would ordinarily take for granted if you worked a 9-to-5 job. We hardly had time to converse last time, to be honest. You claim you don't want to interact with me anymore, but I can see you're simply having a temper tantrum. Come on, let's go shopping or something equally enjoyable. I scheduled a time to have my nails done. If you want, you may follow along.
I can't. I'm extremely working. I also dislike spending money that I didn't work for. I'm a human, not a parasite, but you are free to behave any way you choose. Additionally, I don't want to socialize with you. Birds of a feather gather in flocks. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Good. Do you happen to be working right now? Where exactly do you work? Don't say you work as a waitress at a restaurant or whatever. If that's the case, I apologize. If you have a job, I'm sure you can't wake up anytime you want as I can. With minimal salary, you also cannot afford to go to the beauty parlor 3 times each week. Also, it's likely that you must work quite hard every day in order to pay for accommodation. Do you even get weekends or holidays off? I mean, to keep off the streets, people at the bottom of society must labor 8 hours a day. Because of this, it is preferable to exercise common sense and marry into an affluent family, like I did.
Whatever you say, I agree. People go to work because they wish to achieve a variety of objectives in life on their own. On the other side, all you do is rely on others. You can never anticipate the future, that's for sure. Today's world is changing far too quickly. Personally, I think it's important to get ready for those changes. Therefore, if I lose my work, I also lose my financial security. I also don't want to rely on anybody else moving forward. I wish to be self-sufficient.
It's unfortunate that you will always live paycheck to paycheck, to be honest. How pitiful, huh? I guess I shouldn't have said that since it would make you even more envious of me. I'll tell you what, the balcony of my cottage has the nicest views of this field of sunflowers. You can never anticipate the future, that's for sure. Today's world is changing far too quickly. Personally, I think it's important to get ready for those changes. I realized as I looked back on my life that I had never worried about money in any way.
Cottage? Did you leave the home that John and I previously occupied?
Did you see that? Yes, we did, to answer your question. John just received a wage increase as a result of his promotion. We chose to move into a cottage because of this.
That's good for you, I suppose.
Yes, of course. 2 years in a row, our neighborhood has received the top security rating. Despite the fact that we are not in the city's core, a gym was constructed specifically for the locals. Additionally, I take my dog for walks along this lovely river, which is 4 miles from my house. By the way, our neighborhood is called Light Tower. You must have heard about it, I suppose.
Hold on a second.
You must be becoming envious and enraged right now, hee hee. The good news is that you can visit me at a later time. I'll demonstrate what it means to be young and wealthy. I'll even let you sample a piece of the priciest cake our region has to offer. If you wish, we can go on a stroll with my dog and shoot some photos in that field of sunflowers.
No, I'm okay. I'm not interested in squandering my valuable time at your house.
Oh, forget it, Lisa. I don't believe I can still invite you around. Because it's possible that you won't even get in. I reside in a gated neighborhood. Paupers are not welcome here, according to the patrol crew.
Sorry? What's wrong with you?
I mean, everyone who lives in Light Tower is above the fray. After all, not everyone has the financial means to spend $100,000 on a home. Considering that, you should definitely only visit this location if you're seeking for a janitorial career. You know, the majority of our visitors are either famous people or wealthy business people. As a result, as I previously stated, the patrol team would only let you in if you identified yourself as the gym's new cleaner.
You are neither a superstar nor a business tycoon in my eyes. You're nothing more than a house thief. Furthermore, janitors ought to be valued for their work. Though you don't.
Stop using your justifications. You loser, just accept your loss at this point. No matter what you say, I am the one who shares a beautiful villa with your ex-husband. You, on the other hand, have no concept what it's like to be in control of the world in the least.
I appreciate your continuing to cover my rent.
Why? What?
I'm glad to hear that things aren't that bad for you in my cottage. To think that my tenant is living a happy life at my home makes me ecstatic. Furthermore, you and John already lend me $20,000 a month. Nothing warrants a protest from me. Naomi, aren't you thinking?
Hold on a second. By your house, what do you mean?
I ought to have recognized that you two are my renters sooner. To be honest, I was a little hesitant to rent my house to a couple with the same names as you and John. But now, everything is obvious. How oddly coincidental. Am I correct?
Your residence? Right now, this is just too much for my head to handle. What are you referring to? Do you have a mental illness or something?
First, try to relax. I can walk you through everything. The villa that you keep bragging about is actually mine. I appreciate you taking care of the rent because of this. If it weren't for you people, I wouldn't have been able to stop my homelessness.
Pardon? There is no way in the universe that you could ever purchase a cottage. Here, only the homeowner association dues are outrageous. John, for example, spends more than $20,000 per month only on rent. In other words, you have nothing in common with this cottage. What you just said will never be believed by me.
Yes, you are free to accept or reject my claims. You have the choice. I'm merely speaking the truth to you.
If you can, persuade me. If not, you'd better maintain your quiet and flee.
To put it plainly for you, one of my friends is a very wealthy woman. She died, and I was left with this cottage.
Is all of this real? After her death, you were given ownership of this cottage.
Yeah. When I had nowhere else to go, I remained at her house. She was kind enough to provide me a free place to stay while I looked for work. I completed all of the housework in return. Anyhow, throughout the years, our connection grew to be really tight.
So you're claiming she signed the title to this property with your name on it?
Yes, in the end. That's how things actually worked out.
I mean, I was the only girl and the youngest of all the homeless individuals there. With that stated, this kind woman assured me not to worry. She will investigate her options for me. She referred me to my present company, where I started making savings as soon as I started working there. Then one day I received a call from the hospital informing me that she had collapsed.
When I heard the news, I ran there right away, and I was informed that going forward, she needs to be looked after around the clock. Of course, I stepped into that position and started taking care of her.
Seriously?
She does, after all, have a son. But he's always traveling for work and is quite busy. It would be a huge favor for the lady's family, they continued, if I could move in with her. After a few years had passed, her son and I were by her side as she expired. She said in her will that Naomi is a strong young woman. For the rest of her life, all I desire for her is happiness. Additionally, she had already taken care of asset division.
You got the cottage, honestly, she willed it? Even so, it's pricey, millions of dollars. Do you realize this?
Yeah, I suppose it's only natural that I initially declined her offer. But her son pushed for me to accept it since I deserved it. He expressed to me how much he valued my care for his mother throughout the years. That his mother gave him this home as an expression of thanks. He continued by saying that since he is the owner of other properties, taking this one won't make much of a difference to him.
This can't be real, can it? Is the woman a real estate agent or what? Considering how kind even her son is to you. If he's ready to give you a whole house as a present, he must be sitting on a gold mine. In fact, you could definitely look up his name online.
I am aware of how radically different we are. And never in my life have I envied his possessions or position. It's none of my business how much money he has. I simply know that they are to blame for the life I currently enjoy. If that kind woman hadn't helped me out back then, I suppose I wouldn't be standing here in front of you now. Anyway, I'm now rather busy with property management and upkeep. You'd be surprised at how much time and effort are needed. However, the monthly money I receive from rent alone is more than enough for me to live comfortably. I am thus no longer struggling financially.
What is going on? This is not possible. Keep in mind that there are no free meals in this world. Only the crumbs from the rich man's table are permitted, and that would be me. You're simply bluffing, to be honest, aren't you? You are not a showboat, at least not to me. Nevertheless, if doing so helps you feel better about yourself, go ahead. You really are just a beggar, I mean. A beggar will never stop being a beggar. Beggars lack the ability and authority to overturn their predetermined course in life. Do you know how long it took me to live in a cottage like this, which is more significant? You're telling me that it belongs to you, right? Do you believe that anything here makes sense? I almost bought it, therefore you must be a fantastic storyteller.
Exactly, whatever. Now I have to leave. I have other things to do, like eating pricey cakes and getting your nails done. You may still have a blast in my cottage, too. I've been tortured by you and John in the past, but I'm making money now. Thus, I don't mind.
First of all, this is completely unjust. You're just a depressed outcast. Nothing you told me will ever be true. Furthermore, I'm not done yet. Right now, you're being quite disrespectful. Before you go like that, let me finish my sentences.
Then, what else do you need? I've already given you all the information you require. Furthermore, nothing suggests that the rest of your life is likely to become worse. You and your husband's situation won't alter at all.
Show that you are the true owner of the property. Otherwise, all I can see in you is a crazy and a liar. That means you should give us a free lease on this home. Please stop billing us for living here. Actually, we're not as well off as you might imagine. However, I'm guessing that you wouldn't be able to do this. Please consider our friendship before responding to my query. It will be a terrific bargain for you as well, I swear to God.
Yes, that is feasible. The fact that it isn't happening is the only issue. I'm not illiterate. I also don't practice philanthropy. I detest scumbags like you two in particular. What do I get from it, too? I have no thoughts. So disregard it. Please don't make me regret letting you rent my home. Please note that I reserve the right to evict any tenant at any time.
However, you'll help your best buddy, me. I mean, you're loaded, why can't you assist me? Just let the past be the past moving forward.
Please excuse me.
You owning a home is still something I question. Therefore, if you want to establish your credibility, cease billing John and I for rent. How do you feel about my recommendation? We're the best of friends, right?
Sincerely, I'm shocked right now by your lack of shame. Seriously, however, I feel foolish for once having been friends with someone like you.
Of course, anything. Simply put, I've been ruminating for a while now about how costly rent is. I will grant that the amenities and views are decent. But even so, $20,000 a month is just too much. However, I do now get why that is the case. You could only provide food for yourself in this way. Am I accurate?
Do you mind?
Let us live here for free if you don't want the whole neighborhood to hear tales about you. Give us 50% discount at the very least, I suppose, hee hee. If you don't, I'll tell everyone in the neighborhood that you are nothing more than a. You don't want to witness that, do you?
I don't see why the rent is currently significantly less than market value. Are you blind? Having stated that, despite that circumstance, I truly can't make it much cheaper for you.
By that incident, what do you mean? What occasion are you referring to? Why, when you initially moved in, didn't you hear from John?
That cabin was the scene of a horrible occurrence. The rent is $30 less than market value as a result.
Are you serious at this very moment? Why didn't anyone tell me about it? I have no notion what this terrible incident is. So what particularly is it? What, is this a joke?
Not at all, I assure you. The last resident of that cottage passed away. Because of this, someone may rent the entire building and have access to all of the amenities for only $20,000 per month.
There is no way that this is real. Even then, $20,000 a month is not the same as $6,000 or $7,000.
In any case, John, your spouse, is aware of all I just stated. He also executed a contract. If you don't believe me, check the document again. His signature should be there. Just the landlord, I am. So I advise you to talk to John about any issues or objections you may have.
Lisa, I can't believe you told Naomi the truth about the mansion I rented from you. You had no right to do that. Now she knows it's not my house, and she's furious.
John, calm down. I didn't lie to Naomi, I simply told her the truth. It's not my fault if you've been leading her to believe it's your own house all along.
Are you kidding me? You know very well why I did that. I wanted to impress her, to make her think I'm more successful than I am. And you just had to ruin it.
John, living in a lie is not the solution. I understand you wanted to make a good impression, but pretending to own a house that isn't yours is not the right way to build a relationship. Honesty should be the foundation.
Oh, spare me your lectures on honesty, Lisa. You think you're so perfect, but you live in your own fake reality every day. You can't be happy with the truth, can you?
That's not fair, John. Just because I don't agree with your dishonesty doesn't mean I'm living in a fake reality. I strive to be honest with myself and others. It's about integrity and being true to who we are.
Well, maybe if you weren't so focused on being true all the time, you'd understand what it's like to want something more, to strive for a better life. But no, you'd rather live in your little bubble of righteousness.
It's not about being true all the time, John. It's about finding happiness and fulfillment in genuine experiences and connections. Living a lie may give you temporary satisfaction, but it will never bring you lasting happiness.
You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'll never be happy if I keep living in this facade. But at least I'm willing to take risks and go after what I want, even if it means bending the truth a little. I'd rather have a taste of happiness than live in your dull, self-righteous world.
It's not about being dull or self-righteous, John. It's about being authentic and building genuine connections based on trust. I hope one day you realize that true happiness comes from being true to yourself and those around you.
We'll see, Lisa. But don't expect me to follow your path of constant truth-telling. I'll find my own way, even if it means making some mistakes along the way.
He then tried to contact Naomi, but she didn't answer his phone or accept his apology. All Naomi wants is money and luxury mansions, but John doesn't. She has to find a new lover to replace John. And after 3 years of trying, I worked as a manager at a famous hotel to learn for my villa. I found my happiness in one seminar. This is a happiness that John himself cannot have. He is still alone looking for someone like Naomi, but then they also abandoned him.